Hi, so today I want to talk about some ideas for working on fluency goals at home. So with my preschool age children who stutter, I work on specific goals that have been proven to be age appropriate for children this age, and also beneficial to them to try and help alleviate the stuttering. So the main goals I focus on are the speech speed concepts and speech tension concepts. And then I also try to focus on some easy talking. So I'll start with speech speed concepts. And I will provide these visuals for you in this email that I'm going to send this video in. So there's 3 different speeds of speech that I like to talk about. I'm going to bend this down with my students. There's rabbit speech, which is very fast. There's cat speech, which is just right because cats kind of move like this. They saunter, right? So I have been corrected by children that tell me that cats are fast too. And I say, yes, anything can be fast if it's running, but cats generally walk pretty slow, where rabbits, I always see them moving very fast. And then the other one is turtle speech, and that's very super slow, and I really exaggerate that. So one way I work on this with students in my therapy sessions is I usually have a turn-taking game, and then we take turns practicing one of these speeds of speech. And you can have your child pick what speed they want, or you can choose it for them. So when I do this, and it's my turn, I decide to say something, and I'm going to choose one of these speeds. Now, typically, it's hard for preschoolers to come up with something on the spot, imaginative to say. So I just use picture cards, and I'm going to grab those real quick. It could be a picture of anything. It could be pictures in a story. It could be talking about a favorite toy, anything to kind of help them along, because it's going to be hard for them to just come up with something off the top of their head. So I use picture cards. So for this girl, I might say, the girl is dancing. And then I want them to pick, did I do rabbit speech, cat speech, or turtle speech? And hopefully they would pick turtle speech. And then I would explain, yes, that was turtle speech. We don't talk that slow. That is too slow. And then if I pick something that's too slow or too fast, I usually try to fix it to be cat speech. So then I'll say, let me try again. The girl is dancing. And then we'd say, yes, that was cat speech. It wasn't too slow. It wasn't too fast. And I could understand what I was saying. You know, it was cat speech. It was just right. So an example of rabbit speech then, I'll describe this picture, okay? The boy's eating the banana. So we'd have them decide which speech it was. And it was rabbit speech. And I find this is the one that kids like to practice the most. So yeah, that was rabbit speech. It was too fast. You could probably hardly understand what I was saying. Let's try and fix it using our cat speech. The boy is eating a banana. Yeah, I used cat speech. It was just right. It wasn't too fast like the rabbit, and it wasn't too slow like the turtle. So that's something you can do. What I have found, it's kind of a good activity for kids to practice the turtle speech, because I've found that every child I've worked with so far with these cue cards has had significant difficulty slowing down to turtle speech. And while I don't want them to talk in turtle speech, I want them to at least understand how they can slow down their speech to something as slow as turtle speech. So that might be an opportunity where they would have to repeat you. So the boy, oh, wait, don't speed up yet. And then have them follow your very slow speed. And then you guys can fix it together. Now let's use our cat speech together. The boy is eating the banana. But I do think it is beneficial for them to at least attempt to slow down their speech to that turtle speech, to just show that that's too slow. Now let's do just right cat speech. So that's the speech speed concepts. And then I also have the child choose on their own, and then I try to identify which one they did. So let's say they talked really fast, and say, oh, that was rabbit speech. Were you trying to do rabbit speech? Now let's try and fix it and do cat speech. And you might have to model that for them and have them imitate it. But if you have any questions about speech speed concepts, let me know. I also do speech tension concepts. I thought these emojis were a really great way to show the speech tension concepts. There's too tight. There's just right where your lips are nice and soft, your tongue is nice and soft, your jaw is nice and loose, but not too loose, but just right. And then there's too loose or too loose, where you aren't even using your lips properly. They don't even touch. You don't even contact your tongue to your teeth as well as you normally would. So let me give you some examples. So let's say I'm trying to practice too tight. When you are practicing too tight, you are going to do something called pseudo stuttering, fake stuttering. It can be uncomfortable to do at first, but the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. So here's an example. So I'm going to talk about this picture using too tight. The boy is driving his car. See how everything was too tight? My neck was too tight. My lips were too tight. My tongue was too tight. Everything was too tight. So then just like with the speech speed concepts, I would say, now let's do it with just right tension, not too tight and not too loose. The boy is driving the car and everything is just right, not too tense, not too loose. Now an example of using too loose speech would be, so I didn't even put my lips together. My tongue didn't even come up to my teeth. I couldn't even make some of the speech sounds that I need to say what's happening in this picture. My speech was too loose. So we don't want to use too loose speech. People won't be able to understand us. And when our speech is too tight, we can get stuck on sounds and get bumpy. So we want to try to use just right speech. So the boy is driving the car. So let me give you one more example of that, because this one is a trickier concept than the speed concepts. So here's an example of me doing too tight speech. And I just have on here written too tight with an exclamation mark, too just right with an exclamation mark, and too loose with an exclamation mark. So if I'm going to do too tight for this, I would say, the girl is painting. And that was too tight. You can even see my lips turned white. I was too tight in my neck, my jaw, and my lips. Now, let's see if I can do just right. The girl is painting. Everything's very light and soft. All my contacts are very soft. It's not too tight. You do too loose. The girl, hey. See, I don't even use my lips. I don't even use my tongue. You can't understand a word I'm saying. So this can be trickier for the kids to practice. So you might just need to model it and have them pick what you're doing. But I find it a really good way to make them aware of when they are stuttering and say, oh, that sounded like it was a little too tight. Can we try that again with just right speech? So an example might be, we're playing a game and the child wants to tell me something about what happened in the game. Oh, I almost beat you. And I'd say, oh, that sounded too tight. Can we try saying that again with just right speech? We don't want to be too tight. Oh, I almost beat you. And then have them imitate that. Usually it does help a little bit, but just making them aware, oh, that sounded tight. Can we try again? Again, making them aware of these concepts of speech tension. Now they can try to do some practice on their own, but this might just more be where you model it and they choose which one you did, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. Give me a call, send me a text, and ask me to clarify that. So these, both you can practice it and have the child choose which one you did, and the child can practice it and you choose which one they did. For this, it might just be more you modeling it and having them choose if it was too tight, just right, or too loose, because it can be difficult for them to differentiate between these. But if they want to give it a try, I know some of my students are getting better at figuring this out, so you can always give it a try. So those are the main things I work on: speech speed concepts, speech tension concepts. I also want children to imitate easy talking. Easy talking is soft and light talking, so at an appropriate speed, so using cat speech, and with just the right amount of tension, so not too tight, not too loose. I find that I kind of get in a sing-songy tone when I use it, which is fine. But what's difficult for me, I'm a naturally fast talker, and I always have been. You're supposed to slow your speed down a little bit and have a few more pauses. So that can be tricky for me to do, I know. So I know it can be tricky for parents too, but you can try it out and see how it goes. So again, I would just use picture cards or describe something that's happening and see if they can imitate some easy speech, easy talking. So I'd say, here, the boy is driving his car. So you can see I added in a few more pauses than I normally would have, slowed down my speech, and maybe made my contact a little lighter, like with my teeth and with my lips, just to kind of exaggerate that easy talking. An example here, the girl is washing her face. Ooh, I see a boy who is walking. He looks like he's going slow. So you'll see I'm not using exaggerated turtle speech, but I am a little slower than my natural rate, which is a little fast. So that's what I would practice. So speech, speed concepts. And again, I do this during a turn-taking game. So let's say it's Candyland. Let's say it's Pop the Pig. I don't know, anything. Let's say we're making a car go down a ramp. Okay, my turn. Now I need to practice one of these. I'm gonna choose rabbit speech. The boy is sitting down. Oh, that was too fast. I need to slow it down. The boy is sitting down. Okay, my turn. Right, it's your turn. You need to pick one. Oh, you picked rabbit speech? Okay. Tell me what's happening in this picture with your rabbit speech. And then they do it. Good job. Now let's see if we can fix it and use cat speech when talking about this picture. So then they would use their cat speech, or you might model it for them to imitate. Okay, now it's your turn to go, and they might push the car down the ramp or take a turn in Candyland or whatever turn-taking game you're playing. So that's what I would do. I would get some type of turn-taking activity or game, take turns practicing speech speed concepts, or at every turn model a speech tension concept, have them figure out if it's too tight, just right, too loose. And then also you can work on imitating easy talking. So I hope that was informative for you. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good YouTube resources or other things for preschool children to view that would be helpful. So I'm going to try and record videos of me doing these concepts, you know, having me model some of these concepts, and then I'll pause and let you and the child determine which one I used. And then if I fixed it by using my cat speech or not. Same with the too tight, too loose, and just right. I can do some models. I can pause, give you guys time to discuss which one I used, and then I can show how to fix it. So that will be upcoming. I haven't recorded those yet, but it will be on my very long to-do list. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, please just let me know, and I hope this was helpful.